Speaking of that, on Sunday we were talking to my in-laws. Or no, we were talking to my parents. And my son was leaning over to me, and he's like, "Dad, did you put deodorant on? You stink."
Oh, kids.
Kids have no filter.
Definitely didn't put on deodorant, son. Thanks.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's good times.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Good morning, my brothers and sisters. On this, the 6th episode of the Good Morning Guys podcast in 2021, a number 127, a.k.a. all the numbers you would have to count in order to reach Tom Brady's Super Bowl wins total, beating every single NFL team in the history of the sport. Unbelievable. Thank you so much for joining us on this fine morning, afternoon, evening, or night as we continue discussing the game of life amidst the other games we love to watch and to play. I'm one of your 4 hosts, the Brazingo Platinum Hunter and Transition Ninja, Lucas Ham Swisher. Also with me, the judge, jury, and executioner of horror games, the Renaissance man of video games, Patrick Novosel.
Hey, yeah, Tom Brady is the GOAT. 7 championships. Unbelievable.
Running out of fingers.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Well, as soon as he retires, Pat Mahomes, I believe he's probably going to do the same thing.
Do it.
As long as he doesn't play Tom Brady again.
Yeah. Correct. On his left and my right, the throat-clearing and coughing beast of the East who can break a furnace in one dark black filter or less, Ronnie Johantges.
Nice. That's nice.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I am here. I do feel like I need to cough, though. I'm not going to do it, though.
You go right ahead.
I'm gonna stifle
this is the moment. I already told you. Don't say hi. Just say.
I'm just going to stifle it.
All right.
That's the worst. Trying to stifle a cough.
Oh, this is horrible.
Oof.
That's worse than holding in a fart.
Is it?
Yeah.
I feel like if you hold the
it's
fart in
more
long enough,
painful.
it goes away. The cough never goes away.
Isn't
You
that the
hold
worst
that
feeling
in.
when your body absorbs
Absorbs it
Like,
back.
Goes back up into your stomach, man.
It goes into the bloodstream.
It's like,
And then it becomes more noticeable.
what have I done?
like-
It's coming out my pores.
Because it's like you hear this very loud...
And then you hear your kid like,
Inverted.
"Daddy, did you put on deodorant?"
Wow. Way to bring up I'm still hurting from that. All right. The final member of our G Quadfecta he's got nothing. Okay, he's got something. Who's making...
Sure got nothing.
He's got nothing.
I got nothing.
It's just not what I meant. Who's making snow angels with his arms and legs, has Rocket League's gridiron mode on his brain, La Coretta most likely, and his old stomago, and a lot of pee in as well. I better stop there. Marc Boucher.
I would just like to point out that Lucas called himself a Brazingo.
Yeah,
did.
I was thinking that. Like, what?
I was wondering if you'd ask about
I get it.
Yeah.
I've just never heard that
Is that
before.
a normal term in Brazil?
No, it's a nickname I was given by a Brazilian in the last city I lived in. He made it up, and he said...
Sounds like a Quentin Tarantino film.
It's because I'm...
Sounds like that thing Sheldon says on Big Bang Theory.
It does, Bazinga. Brazingo. Yeah, I have the body of a gringo, and that's like a foreigner, and the heart of a Brazilian is what I've been told. So
All right. There you go.
I'll take it. It's a compliment. Cool. All right.
Hi, by the way.
Hi. Yes, I'm glad to hear from you. We're glad you're here with us, Marcus.
Good to be
So, guys, here we are. Another week. Another time to hang out.
Yeah.
We had a Super Bowl. Patrick,
We
sure
sure
did.
did.
did you watch that Super Bowl?
Yeah, sure did.
You sure did. Were you
I actually did.
disappointed? You did too?
I haven't watched a game all season, but I did watch a Super
That's
Bowl.
right, you haven't.
Yep. That was kind of
So you watched
captivating,
it.
really, I thought.
It was quite the massacre. I did not realize how
I don't think it was supposed to
how
be
much
like
of a
that.
massacre it was.
No, it was supposed to be
definitely
closer
wasn't
than it
supposed to
was.
be.
Yeah, normally the Chiefs score points.
Yeah, Pat Mahomes was running for his life. I saw
Yeah,
a
that was
stat
bad.
today that he ran. It was pre-pass, pre-run, or whatever. He ran behind the line of scrimmage for 497 yards.
No way.
The most by
Are
any
you
QB.
serious?
That was one play, went back like 50 yards, like trying to get away.
Yeah. Second and 49. What is
It was
this?
like at that point,
That's what
it's a Hail Mary no matter where you throw it.
Was he playing Super Tecmo Bowl? That's what I used to do back in the day to throw from.
He was playing
with
electric
Montana
football, and he
to
just like
Rice.
kept going backwards.
His line was like, I think there was a couple of backups actually in that. A couple of guys got hurt, so that might have been their excuse. But it was a thin line of defense apparently, because like those guys were in the backfield immediately, like every play.
Right.
Yeah. Mark, did you watch the big game?
Gonna file that one under no.
All right. Well,
I did
you're,
not.
You're not alone. I also did not watch it.
Yeah, I occasionally, saw Super Bowl commercials pop up online that I would check out, but
Okay. That's
other
something.
than that, the only glimpse of interest that I had in the Super Bowl was the fact that my brother, for most of his life, has lived in St. Petersburg, Florida, which is quite close to Tampa,
Yep.
and so he is very much a Bucs fan,
Nice.
and he was very happy at the result of this game.
I rooted for the Bucks back in the day just because their colors were so awful. It was like white and citrus orange, I think, if I remember
That
right.
is
Yeah, before they
old
changed
school.
over. Yeah,
Before they got cool, or at least
When it
had cool
changed.
colors.
Mark,
It
I was
awful
thinking you'd be
looking.
rooting for Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that too. The fact that he migrated from the Patriots to the Bucks.
Like a Canadian goose.
He and Gronk.
Yeah, he let everybody know they probably let him go too soon. Shouldn't have done that.
Yep.
Yeah,
that is
and everybody
correct.
was wondering apparently, like, was it Brady or was it the Pats? No, it was
It
Brady.
was Brady. They didn't even make the playoffs.
That is correct.
Right.
Wow. That's crazy. All right, well, let's start with our football watchers. Since two of us didn't, we're gonna start with Patrick because he's just looking so handsome right now.
All right. Yeah. So, watch the Super Bowl, obviously. But speaking of other football, this past Saturday we played Rocket League together, which
yeah,
was
we did.
awesome. It was that gridiron limited time mode, and that is the best mode,
That
the
is so
absolute
much fun.
best mode
Bar none.
in the game. And we got Mark to jump into Rocket League because it's not your favorite game by any stretch of the imagination.
If Rocket League was that game, I would have been in.
Yeah,
But alas, it is not that game.
I really hope that they keep it or
Yeah.
they bring it back because I mean they have soccer, they have hockey, they have basketball. Why don't they just throw in another mode?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I know they don't want to separate the group of people that are playing, but aren't there like millions of people playing this all the time?
That is
So
correct.
you're not going to have
Constantly.
right.
I mean,
you're always
they
gonna
have
a
Mario
match.
Kart mode, like where you have items and you're like punching the ball and turning into a porcupine and stuff. So
Yeah, that's a good mode just for
Kicks and giggles.
kicks and giggles. Yeah, but not all the time. I could play
represent
gridiron
all
mode
the
all the
sports.
time.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So that was an absolute blast. It was the first time that we all got together and played all together at the same time. So that was really really fun because
Yeah, it
we've
was a
all
momentous
played.
occasion.
Yeah, we've all played separately, but it was the first time all four of us. So that was really fun. Big news this week. I was offered a job for the after 6 arduous gauntlet of a style interviews, finally was offered the job, and I took it. Obviously, I don't think I would waste my time for 6 interviews and just say, you know what. But yeah, so exciting. I got that offer. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday of this past week, and guess where we went to celebrate?
I'd rather not.
Home.
Long John Silver's.
The Trash Panda restaurant. Yes.
I was like, I haven't had Long John since I
can't believe that's how you celebrated.
I was jonesing for it, man.
Fine dining.
Jonesing for it.
Are you still considering the other choice you were thinking about?
Oh,
terms
going to Chicago? No,
Yeah.
so the wife nixed that idea. She's like,
okay.
no, let's not go to Chicago. So I looked online and I found that you can order deep dish pizzas from all these Chicago restaurants, and they'll ship it straight to your house. They put the pizzas on like dry ice, so it
Interesting.
stays cold, and then you can just pop it in the oven and it's ready. So I got 3 of them. Got
Yeah,
3
man.
deep dish pizzas.
Giordano's. Just
Giordano's,
do
yeah.
that?
I got Giordano's. I got Gino's East. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
So I wanted to
I've
get a
not caught
couple
that
different ones.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that's going to be coming actually this Wednesday. So I'm going to have some deep dish pizza on Wednesday to celebrate as well.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. I start this coming Monday, so February 15th
All right.
is my first day. I got a meeting with my boss on Wednesday of this week to go over what it's going to look like. You know, like what are my hours? What are his hours? Is it going to be some in the office and some virtual? It's going to be a mix of the two. So yeah, it's gonna be exciting to get back out there and get started with that new job.
That's sweet, man. I will say it's a little bittersweet because that also means that probably most of our lunch gaming times are out the window.
Lunch gaming times are going to be out the window unless I'm working virtually. Then yeah, we can still do those. But late nights, staying up till 3:30 in the morning on the weekdays, those are going to be long gone.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go to bed at a reasonable hour because I have to get
At
up.
least the first few weeks, you want to get a feel for the land before you come into work on 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah, I gotta
guys.
put my best foot forward, and then I could slide back into the 2 a.m. Apex. So, speaking of Apex, oh my gosh! So the new season came out this past week, and Mark and Justin and I and Sheldors jumped in. My buddy Tony from Florida, he jumped in with us last night, and the season is fun. The new legend Fuse, I've been playing him a lot the past couple days.
Nice.
He was a little bit hard to figure out, but now I figured him out. He's awesome. He's fantastic, and playing at night. It's been rough the first start of the season because like all the good players are like there are levels of players, and the highest level is Predator, and that's the people that are the best at the game. And we were dropping in lobbies that had maybe more than half of the squads are Predators, and they just have like the best aim, and we were just getting shellacked, and it was frustrating. So I started playing a few games in the afternoon, playing the I guess more inexperienced, not Predators, and it's been fun. I got my first 2K badge, which is get 2,000 damage in a game. So that's something I've always strived for. I've had multiple games in the 1700s, never 2,000. So I got that 2,000, which was pretty fun. So yeah, playing a ton of Apex. Played a lot of Apex over the last 2 years. But yeah, definitely over the last week. And then lastly, I went out. I went out on Saturday night. I went out, and I went to Topgolf. You guys ever been to Topgolf before?
Heard of it.
We have a Topgolf about 2 hours from here.
Yeah.
Have not been there though.
Oh, it is a blast. Even if you are not a golfer, this is a great hangout.
Yeah, it is.
There's different games. I mean, you can have like driving games, you can have chipping games, and there's like all these different targets, and there's different points you get depending on how close you get to the target. So it was a good time. Hung out with like, I don't know, we had like 30 of us, so we had 4 different bays, and yeah, it was an absolute blast. I felt like it was like a normal weekend pre-COVID. It was amazing.
Nice.
I had a really good time, and that was for my buddy's birthday. So yeah, did that, and I guess that's about it for me, man.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that was a good week. Really good week, actually.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah,
Top week
That's
of
a
the year.
solid week.
it was a top week
Top
of the year so
Top
far.
week with Top Golf. Ronnie, how about you, buddy?
Well, so this week, obviously, I got to play Rocket League with you fine gentlemen. I think we only lost twice. Was it 2 times? 3?
We were running the table.
We did. Like, we kind of cleaned house.
Yeah, we lost the first 2, and then we got on a little bit of a streak, and then I opened my big mouth and said, "Hey
And
guys,
we
we're on a
lost
streak."
that one really
and then
bad.
we lost that one. So we lost 3, and I think we won
And then we had the
4,
jinx.
5.
Yeah, and I would say the first 2 games, Mark was figuring out the mode, and once he figured it out And once he got his first score, which was awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
We were all, we were all going crazy. But once he got that footing, we were on fire the rest of the night or rest of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, basically, the first game or two, I was like, why am I here? Why am I here right now?
What am I doing?
It's because I love you guys. And, this is hell.
Hell on wheels, baby.
But then, after I started getting a little bit of the hang of it, which has never happened with me with regular Rocket League. You just can't. But once I started getting the hang of it and actually contributing to the team, it felt a lot better. It was awesome. But go ahead, Brian.
It's that mid-range jumper that you had.
Yep.
That's right. You had the mid-range fadeaway
Just that
going.
fadeaway.
Real nice.
Apparently is not the right way to do it.
I mean,
Hey,
it
you got the
works.
score.
three's better than none.
Yep.
That was really fun. This week we beat the boss on the island map in Ark, called the Overseer.
Nice.
Ooh, all right.
So we
nice.
finally went back and beat him and did the whole proper ascension type thing. I may take a break actually for a little while. The fire has died down a little bit. You know how it does. And I just let it sit for a little while before I jump back into it. So with that being said, I'm kind of on the market for a new game. I started one thing, which is just kind of a little side gaming project. You guys ever play Broforce on Iron Bro mode?
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
no, I haven't.
I'm
Negative.
afraid.
So
Yes,
Iron
same
Bro
here.
mode is you start the regular storyline, but you don't get a new life every level. You carry over the lives the whole time. So you can get extra lives as you go, but once you lose all your lives, you have to start completely over again. So it's a lot actually. But I've always kind of wanted to.
So what do you
beat it.
get? You get one life per level? Is that how it stacks?
Not even
or-
necessarily that, because there still is the guys you can rescue from the cage, and then you get an upgrade or another guy. So then you
Okay,
have two
yeah.
guys, and if you win that level, then you carry two over, and so on.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't know that.
But it's when you get to one of the first bosses or something, it's not that easy. If you don't have the right character, it's rough to try and beat them with a
Right.
character that's not for that.
You don't want the gun leg lady.
You don't.
No, she's the
you don't.
worst.
You only want her under weird circumstances.
Yeah, when you're
Like
drilling
never.
down. Or
That's
something.
pretty much like never. But the difference is in this is if you have let's say you start with a predator and you get a new life, you could start the next the next level with the predator again. It's a random start person. So you have him then
Okay.
in your bank, not just another life. It's actually that character.
Oh. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So once you lose him, though, you lose him, and I'm not sure that you can get him back. I don't know, honestly. I haven't gotten that far. I haven't got past I don't think levels 5 maybe. I think the boss on the little level 5 is rough, but I'm gonna try to beat that. Just kind of in my spare time. You can kind of you can put it down whenever you want, but it's pretty much one run. You got to make it all the way through, and I'm just trying to do it
Kinda
on normal, and it's pretty tough.
It's kind of like Enter the Gungeon, the way that's set up, where you only have one life, and you have to get all the way to the end. Otherwise, you got to start all the way over.
Yep, it is. Which is, difficult in itself. You have to try and be just really
Right.
careful the whole time, which most people don't play Broforce carefully. So
I definitely don't.
It's not the way to really play that game. And then another game I think I'm going to start is actually Cyberpunk.
Ooh.
All right.
It's an obvious choice because Elizabeth really wanted Cyberpunk, and she can't do first-person games well. She gets really dizzy with first-person stuff, so
Yeah.
when we found out that it was only first-person, I guess, that made it not really playable for her. And,
That's too bad.
well, we bought it, so
So did you get for PC or Xbox?
Xbox.
Okay.
Lucky for me, because I wouldn't play on the PC. I mean, I don't really have a gaming computer, but no, I'm gonna play it on the Xbox. I mean, I pretty much have it. I've heard it's actually pretty good from some people that have played it. I don't know how far you guys made it that played it, but
No, I played. I got to the second mission and then it crashed on me twice back when it first launched.
Yeah.
So I know they've made some upgrades to it.
Yeah, I've heard they fixed
I know
some
there's
stuff.
a lot of there's still glitches and crashes, but not like it was when it first launched. So hopefully you don't experience too many of those because I know that they're still prevalent.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping that they fix a lot of them too, because I will be like that and just put it down. You know, I don't want to play a game that crashes all the time. I already play one of those.
Yeah.
So, I think I'm going to start Cyberpunk. And then lastly, I watched a docu-series on Netflix. And it's called The Devil Next Door. And it's about this retired auto worker from Cleveland in like late 70s, early 80s. Got arrested as being identified as Ivan the Terrible, a Nazi death camp guard.
Oh my.
And it goes through the whole story and the trial and everything like that. And I don't want to give it away, but they raise a lot of questions on, is he actually who, like, they say he is? Like, a lot of evidence is up for interpretation, I think, from both sides. And it's a 4-part series, but it's really interesting. I don't want to, give away like what happens in it, but there's a lot of twists and turns. And I think it's in Israel, maybe? Is that where they send him to? I can't recall. But they actually like revoked his United States citizenship once those charges like came down, and they was it extradited him as a war criminal.
Yeah.
And he went on trial over there, and it's about the whole thing. But it was really worthwhile. Historically, it was really good. It is, anytime the Holocaust is involved in anything, it can be very graphic. As you would expect, but it is a good watch. It's very interesting what happens.
Cool. And what was that called again?
It's called The Devil Next Door.
Okay.
It's one of those Netflix original docuseries.
Man, that sounds like Unsolved Mysteries, and it kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like, I'm just like, when's that guy, the host? I can't remember his name.
If you
Mark?
or someone you know.
Yeah, the thing is at the very beginning they explain to you like who he is as a person now, right, and who they think that he is, because a lot of Nazis got away after World War II,
right.
And there's actually really interesting information that they talk about at the end how obviously we weren't on the side of the Nazis, but a lot of Nazis actually came to the United States. The whole world was afraid of communism at the time, so
Yep.
there was actually a fairly easy path for them to get into the United States, and it's not something you would think or expect. But yeah, it is a good one.
Cool.
Nice. Marky Mark, what's up?
It's been a little bit of a week.
I thought you were going to start singing. It's been 1 week since you left me.
Threw your hands in the air and said you crazy. No, I'm not going into BNL, classic BNL.
It's our loss.
Sounds like you already did.
Yeah, I think you just might
Not
as well
going fully
continue.
into it. You never go full BNL.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Okay.
Unless you're like super Canadian, then you can.
Where's Chris when we need him? Hey, Chris, can you do that for us? Thank you.
But no, it's been a good week. Friday, yeah, I believe it was Friday. Our new purple mattress came in.
Ooh.
And this thing is crazy because it looked like a
Burrito?
those fruit roll-ups.
Burrito? Did you say burrito?
Yeah, burrito too. Yeah, I guess you could call it that. But like those fruit roll-ups that you used to get when you were kids.
Oh yeah, totally.
Used to get.
I was
Get outta
jealous.
here.
Used to get. I was
have
jealous
one
of those
in my
kids.
pantry right now. A whole box. No, it looked like that. It looked like this big fruit roll-up kind of thing.
Did
sitting
you
in front of my door.
lick it like a grape flavored one?
No, I did not
Get a
lick
little
it.
lick.
That thing came all the way from Utah.
Oh, that's a good
Who
call.
knows
Spray that baby
What
down.
hands is yeah.
Before you lick it.
Yeah, then lick it.
But yeah, it arrived. That thing is 100 pounds, which is kind of crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah, we got it all set up and unrolled, and it actually comes with two. I want to say blindfolds, but that's not it. The ones you use
right.
to...
Whoa, it comes
Purple
with two
mattress.
blindfolds.
Let's do this.
Whoa.
It's not blindfolds. the sleep masks, yeah.
You got the deluxe version. Nice.
No, it comes with two sleep masks, and it actually comes with these two little samples of the elastic polymer that's inside the mattress. That's their special technology. It's not like a memory foam thing. It's got this like super elastic polymer, like grid material that's inside the mattress that helps contour to your body shape and stuff. And they have these little samples that they have inside with the mattress, and they're like shaped like little mattresses with a little pillow on it.
For your action figures?
They're not quite action figures. They're more like
Sounds very
they're
Inception.
more like stress.
Little
They're
mattresses.
more like stress
within
balls.
Big mattresses.
Oh yeah, mattress within a mattress. Yeah.
it's like
I don't understand why they would give you samples when you have the real thing just like laying there.
Because you can't exactly see the inside of your mattress.
Oh, I see. They're showing you the inside.
Yeah, it's the material that's on the inside.
I thought they were just like small little mattresses you use for your stuffed animals.
One's for
Yeah, you have
Cisco.
for buying another $1,200 mattress. Here's it.
Cisco gets a bed and a blindfold.
Yeah.
They got the
You want to invite one of your little doggy friends over?
No, we don't need the pups. No, but they're kind of like little stress balls. It's weird.
Huh.
Oh, and the mattress is good too.
yeah, we're talking all about the blindfolds and the stress
The
balls.
stress ball.
Yeah, it's like a
train
mystery
chest.
box. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
He doesn't know what's in the box.
But no, the mattress is great. Definitely enjoying that for sure. Yeah, obviously played a little bit of Rocket League as well, of course.
Yeah.
As we talked about, had a lot of fun with that. Scored some goals.
Yeah, you did.
And helped. Yeah, I hope that is definitely a mode that stays. But knowing my luck, probably not.
Nah, it's gotta come back. I believe it'll be back.
It's the Terminator of modes. It'll be back.
Nice. But enjoyed that, and then and obviously played some Apex with Justin and Patrick, and I believe I played with Sheldor as well. First night, absolutely atrocious. I think Justin actually talked about deleting the game.
Yes, I
oh
was
my.
right there with them.
Oops.
That's how bad it was.
Usually when we start a season, we are like on fire. Like my KD ratio is like 4. Overall, it's 1, and it was like 0.4 to the start of the season after the first like 15, 20 games. It was rough.
Painful.
Yeah, it was.
It was atrocious. But then after we played Rocket League on Saturday night, jumped into the first stream of our GMG Got 'em for February, Call of the Sea. And let me tell you, man, that game is exhausting.
Oh, really?
Is it?
Yeah. Yes. So many puzzles.
Oh, that's all it is?
Literally the ententire game is puzzle.
That's
after
right up
puzzle.
Ronnie's alley right there.
Yeah. Get that puzzle gun
and
shooting.
normally-
Pew, pew.
Yeah, it's free on Xbox Game Pass. No, normally puzzle games are right up my alley, but it's everything is a puzzle, and some of it is not super clear. You have to pay attention to a bunch of different clues.
Got to get your notebook out.
Yep.
Basically,
Old school style.
I thought
Yeah.
about taking pictures with my phone and stuff to try to no.
I definitely did that with The Witness. The Witness
Really?
was puzzle after puzzle after puzzle.
Yeah, I was just going to say, this sounds like The Witness on Water.
Yeah.
Call of the Sea.
Yeah. The story, however, is very interesting. That is what kept me. However, for the next few streams, and I am not ashamed to admit this, I will definitely have a YouTube video guide
Do
ready.
it. No shame.
Yes.
Because
There's-
otherwise, we will never finish this game. Because the puzzles is just puzzle after puzzle, and some of them there's just inexplainable unless you're just super attentive to the littlest details. Some of them were okay. I was like, okay, I can figure this out. But yeah, some of them was like, I have no idea where they're getting this. So, but I'm gonna keep going. Like I said, we've only done one stream, so but I
can do
will
it.
have the YouTube guide open for sure.
That's probably a good idea because, yeah, when you're streaming and you're like trying to pay attention to the chat and I don't know, people are watching, it's kind of hard to, keep 100% focused. So definitely do whatever it takes to just enjoy the experience and bring a few people along with you along the way.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
no shame in that.
Absolutely. And I think that is about it on my end.
You got really high there.
Are you sure?
Because I was really, really doubting myself. Like, I feel like I
Ron,
missed
feel like
something.
I'm missing something. You can interrupt me if in the middle of mine you remember, you can be like, hey,
Samsonite!
Hey, put a pin in that, Lucas. I just remembered.
Gotcha.
It's all good.
All right. Well, speaking of Lucas,
Hi.
how was your week, sir?
It's been an interesting week to say the least.
You got high there too. What is happening?
I don't know what's happening to us right now.
novel you've been working on, eh?
Hey, so today, after a week or so of the wife and kids officially returning to in-person classroom teaching and learning at about
Fake news.
35% capacity. What?
Yeah, fake news. They went back to school?
Yeah, they did at 35% capacity
Okay. How does that work?
for 1 week.
Yeah.
It was the first time in 10 months that they had gathered with some of their friends, their teachers. Now, since they're staff kids, they have been going on campus for the past 6 months or so, minus the holidays. But yeah, today a pre-K kid got COVID, and they sent the rest of the elementary kids and teachers home. That was fun.
Good stuff.
Wow.
So
What a fake out.
we'll see what happens in the weeks ahead.
By the
What
way,
the-
Lucas, put a pin in it because I just
Okay.
remembered. It snowed again.
Put a pin in it.
Yep.
It
The
snowed
pin's been
again.
Put it. It snowed again, and you're happy?
Yes, I'm very,
happy
very
for you.
happy.
Did you
Not
make
as-
snow angels? Because I made up that intro about you, but I don't know that you did.
We did not make snow angels.
You don't seem
Unfortunately,
like a
I didn't
snow
have-
angel kind of guy, but
Not really, and I didn't really have time to. This one was like not as powerful as last week's storm, and by the time, because we actually had to go to church, which if you
don't
remember
sound so
talking about.
sad about it.
Well, I mean, think about it.
Well, I had to go
Snowstorm.
to church, I guess.
Snowstorm. My church is an hour away.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
But no, it wasn't too bad. And by the time we got back, any snow that we had, and we had a good like 3-4 inches of snow, completely gone.
That's magic.
It was insane. And continue.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that aside, Marc Boucher. We'll get back,
Back
to
to
you
our
later.
regularly scheduled program.
Back to our yeah. Trying
Back to
be
Lucas
like
with sports.
a news anchor. All right, so that concludes the real life stuff. In the entertainment sector of life, we watched a few things, a few shows, a few movies. We did watch a classic, The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes. Anyone? Anyone
Wow.
out there?
I haven't heard that movie title in a long time.
Well, it start. Yeah,
What? Yeah, it's
I would not have
it's
imagined.
the same. It's the same with the video games that you play. Like Ronnie's like, what are you saying? These are all fake.
We
It's
actually
like 80s.
Did you get a
Yes.
platinum for this? Is this
85.
why
I
you watched
didn't.
it?
So
Yeah, this was 80s Disney.
since like, yep. Dude, if you could get platinum on Disney Plus, we would have already gotten it. But alas, there are no trophies, no platinums for Disney Plus. However, when we're surfing around the Disney Plus channels and what they have to offer, we see movies that we had actually skipped because sometimes we come across a title in our, the Swisher goal to watch most of the Disney movies and rank them and all that jazz. We skip some. We're like, Mindy's like, I didn't see this. And I'm like, I didn't see this either. So I have no idea what's happening. And we like read a synopsis or whatever. So we skipped over this one. But then I saw that Kurt Russell is the star in it back in his younger years. He was,
my bad. I was thinking of a different movie.
What were you thinking of?
I don't know, but this is not the same movie, and this was made in 1969.
Oh, was it? Nice. Yeah. I didn't know that. I forgot what year it aired. It aired? I don't know. Did movies air back in the day?
No.
Okay.
They
when
were
it was
shown.
released. Yeah, when it was shown. Anyways, Kurt Russell's a star. It's a good old-fashioned feel-good Disney movie. The lead character, Kurt Russell, he gets electrocuted by a computer, and obviously he turns into a human computer afterwards. He doesn't die.
Obviously, what other scenario would there be?
What else would happen? You get shocked. Right? At some point, they're examining him, and they put the little, the little ear telescope.
What?
What's that called?
Stethoscope?
Stethoscope? No, stethoscope is
the ear
sound.
microphone.
The ear microphone. I don't know where the ear doctor pulls your ear really hard and it hurts.
That. Okay.
And then they shove that little tube in your ear to look inside. You know,
a
what
little
I'm talking
magnifying glass for the ears, whatever that is.
Sure. They look in his ear, and it's just the same computer that shocked him, just in his head. So it
Again, what else would be in
computer through the electricity. And so he becomes world famous because he can recall any and all information. And he takes down the local mafia, who's been, doing horse betting and all kinds of illegal gambling. And then he helps the school win the National Collegiate Quiz Tournament.
That's random. Let's take down the mafia and then do something for the high schoolers.
That's right.
By the way, the instrument that we were talking about is the otoscope.
That's what I was going to say next.
O-T-O.
The Garfield scope and the otoscope. So yeah, I would say overall, I would give it a 6.5 illegal horse bets out of 10.
6.5. Wow.
Yeah, maybe
that's okay.
Close to 7.
Right?
Yeah, 6.5's good. It was, So the other thing we watched is we finished the first season of the Resistance cartoon, Star Wars. And we watched The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi over the weekend.
Whoa.
So the kids got to experience
There
that
you
for the first
go.
time.
Great.
And it was a hit. We will be starting season 2 of Resistance this week. And then I'll top it all off with that old Rise of Skywalker. So I'm very excited. The kids really have no idea what they're in for in Rise of Skywalker.
It's the best
I was
of
gonna
all
say.
of them.
It's so good. And that's what I want to say after it's all said and done. That the sequel trilogy is my favorite trilogy.
See, it gets a lot of hate, and
It does. Lots and
You
lots
ever
of
see
hate.
that? You ever see that meme of that guy? Like, it's a cartoon that guy just holding the other guy's lips. He's like, "Shh, let people
Yeah.
enjoy things." It's like that's the way. It's like it's Star Wars. I know there's gonna be the Star Wars purist that think it's like, oh, this is the worst ever. Like, they're
They ruined
Star Wars
the source
movies.
material. They took the characters we loved and they made them wrong. It's like,
I thought I didn't know no character to me was degraded because of this sequel trilogy.
yeah, I just really think the acting is stellar in the sequel trilogy. The story is a little more complicated. Some would say convoluted, but I'm okay with that. I love convoluted. I love Kojima style storytelling. They had the OG characters, then the new characters, and they meld the old and new, have lots of callbacks. Like both Force Awakens and The Last Jedi have so many similarities to A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. And that's, some people have a problem with that. They think it's not original, but they mix it with so much original stuff and like encounters and different uses of the Force. Like, when a certain lady, is in space and goes all super Jedi and flies back to the ship. My daughter loved that. I don't know if I can say spoilers to something like that, but I'm just going to give vague stuff. But my daughter loved that. Like I talked to her about it afterwards. She's like, that was so cool. And I'm like, That's what it's all about.
I
It's not
thought-
about, well, she shouldn't be able to do that because that's too OP and blah, blah.
That's
My-
that was my first reaction. I was like, "This
was
is
mine too.
ridiculous."
Yeah.
And then I watched it a second time. I'm like, "All right, I could get behind this."
My response to that is, why? Why can't she do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why can't a Force user,
There's no rules.
do that?
And then in the
Like,
third movie, they explain why she can, like it
Yeah,
or not.
I know. Yeah,
There
they
you
made they did they answered a lot of questions that were from the original trilogy,
Yeah.
and they did it from Rogue One, and Han Solo movie was okay. Are you guys gonna watch that one?
We already watched it solo.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was probably I don't know, for them, I think it was a little more of a rough little, I don't know. It was more of it was not exactly my kids' cup of tea, but they still,
Yeah.
they enjoyed it. They loved Chewbacca. They, the little humorous moments they liked and the action and that jazz. But this was definitely their cup of tea.
Nice.
I'll be interested to see your children's response to Rise of Skywalker because it gets
will
pretty
also.
dark.
It does. So we're still not sure 100% because it does get dark.
Yeah.
We're gonna if worst case scenario, we're gonna watch with all the lights on, and
There you go.
at high noon when the sun's out. Give plenty of time for James to recover from the cackling and the force lightning and the unlimited power and all that jazz. So, yeah, it was good. We really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to continuing and then wrapping it up, and then we'll just I think from there we're going to move on to maybe Harry Potter. I'm not sure yet. We're still working on that plan.
So again, I think we talked about this before, but do you guys have Peacock in Brazil? The streaming service?
I forgot to mention this. Last week, I downloaded it on the PS4.
Yeah.
And it let me register. It let me look through all the shows. It let me click on Saved by the Bell, the new reboot, remastered, whatever it is.
The remaster.
It's a continuation.
The continuation, yeah,
reboot.
it is. It's like it's a continuation, the updated version, and then it gives me the Puss in Boots screen where he's making the sad eyes and says, "Sorry, this isn't available in your region."
Aw.
Well, I thought you had a VPN that allows you to do all that stuff.
We had issues with the VPN. We dumped it. We have like a minimal VPN, but it wouldn't be. I can't figure out how to get it to run through the PS4. I guess I could fiddle with it again to get it to work through the.
Dang. Okay.
Through
'Cause
our
I was gonna
Mac,
say
but-
Harry Potter, all of it's back on Peacock.
Yeah, I mean we have all that on Blu-ray, so we upgraded
Okay.
those.
Perfect.
Some time ago, but we want to read the books alongside, so it's gonna take some time.
Alongside,
some
like you're gonna read a
reading.
chapter and then watch the scene.
Yep, that's pretty much it. It's like, okay, this week, kids, we're reading chapter 2 and 3, and then we're watching 15 minutes of Harry Potter. Next week. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. We'll read the first book and then watch the first movie. At least
Cool.
that's what we're planning on doing. I don't know. We'll see how that works because it could take a while to get through the books. They're pretty long and meaty. The last movie we watched, actually, you could say Mindy and I rewatched, was Tenet. Yeah, and we stayed awake, and it was
Sweet.
quite the adventure. Wow, what a movie!
Did you understand it?
Very few times, I'm going to speak directly to that, Mark, right now. Very few times do I get the end of a movie, and I both feel like I get what happened and have no idea what I just saw at the same time. It's like, yeah, I get it, but I don't know that I can explain what I just saw or what I just experienced. I will say the sound editing was kind of weird sometimes. Like there was like really loud music when people were talking, or like just loud humming sounds when people were chatting, and it was kind of hard to understand.
Tends to do that.
He does tend to do that. He did a lot more in this one, it felt
Christopher
like.
Nolan.
Yeah. But the unique take on time travel, the storytelling, I thought was very cool and very intriguing. And I definitely look forward to, if it happens, a sequel.
I'm gonna have to give that a shot. I have not watched it yet, and I'm all about that time travel.
Yeah.
And
It's
I know
a really
it's a different take on it.
It is a
Once
different take. Yeah.
Once it clicks, like I will say at the first half of the movie, I was like, this is time travel, but it's not. But then the second half of the movie, like, just blows wide open, and it's like, oh, I understand now.
And I'm
It's
into
good.
Christopher
It's
Nolan
good.
films.
It's good.
As you
It
will
doesn't disappoint.
come to know.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Not if I say it first.
Okay.
But I give Tenet an 8 out of 10 in inverted entropy charged bullets.
Interesting. An 8 out of 10 net.
Yep, an 8 out of 10 it. It's funny.
That's better.
So in the gaming realm, just a few things to note. First of all, as the rest of you already said, Rocket League Gridiron was amazing and really
The
fun.
best.
But I did not just play with you guys on Saturday. I played every single day this past week because I loved this mode. I played with Patrick a number of times, Chris, the Canadian Rock, and I have to just throw out a quick highlight was the betrayal of Beef Cheese Nugget when Patrick and I played earlier this week.
Beef cheese nugget. Forgot about him.
We played with a guy whose name was Beef Cheese Nugget, and we really liked his name. We tried to party up after we won the game. We go to the next game. He's on the other team. He betrays us.
Oh.
And proceeds to destroy us because he had learned all of our tricks in the game before.
Yep.
And he used it against us.
Yeah.
I will never forgive
Turn to
him.
the dark side.
My goal in that game was just to
Just to hit
speed
him.
up and demolish him and destroy him. That's the only
Therefore-
my only goal.
We hardly scored.
Yeah, we didn't score.
But
we
then
had
after that,
we had ulterior motives.
we had a blowout win, 80-19, against a no-name team. It didn't matter. They were Beef Cheese Nugget to us, and we destroyed him. So
Yeah.
that's all I wanted to say about that.
Oh, put a pin in it. I don't know if you're going to talk about
Okay.
this, but this past Thursday we played Rocket Arena.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Did you? I have not played that yet.
It was me, Lucas, was it
Chris.
Ryan and Chris, and
Yep.
then Caleb from the
Yeah.
Mountain Nerds podcast.
He swung by.
Yeah.
Nice.
We played. There's only one mode that we could only play. It was a KO mode, so it was just basically like Super Smash Brothers, where you just try to get him to
You knock
KO
each
them.
other out.
Yeah. And it
really?
was
Yeah,
like
it's
3-on-3.
It's just like Smash Brothers. Like your pressure builds up, and then all of a sudden, as soon as you get hit by a little pea-sized bullet, you like shoot through the air, and it counts as a KO. And then
Yeah,
they
and
flash
there's-
back down.
There were I don't know what do we say, 12 different characters, kind of like Overwatch.
I'd say it
Everyone
was like
has
Overwatch.
their own
Yep.
different way of playing them, and
It's
someone
like
would
stunt
have like
doubles Overwatch. It's like
and it was third person too,
Yeah.
so that was cool. We had a pretty good time with that.
Yeah, that's fun.
Interesting.
But that was it. Yeah, I just wanted to say
Yeah, just
forgot
shout
about
out to
Rocket
Rocket
Arena
Arena.
because that's
Yeah.
been sitting on. That was free. Was that free in November or something like that for
Yeah.
PlayStation?
December?
Maybe, but
I
we
missed
finally
it.
started it up and we
Oh yeah, that's right.
played a few rounds and it was
Yeah.
fun. It was a
was
good.
cool.
I like playing it alone. I would never play that alone, but as a big group like that, it was pretty fun.
Yeah. Speaking of playing alone, so today was the last day for Gridiron, and I'm just going to say that I played alone and I did not enjoy myself.
Ugh.
Today's
Two-
the last day for it.
Today was the last day. And so
What did your teammates steal the ball as you were getting the
you know
kickoff?
it, the last 2 of my 3 games, every kickoff there was one guy on the team that would steal from everybody.
That's the worst.
So
Incessant.
terrible.
5 minutes of just stealing from his teammates. We lost, of course, obviously. It was awful. So, not a fun way to
Not a
end
good
it.
teammate.
So I just pretended like my last time playing was Saturday, which was amazing. Besides that, got a few platinums, and I wanted to play a quick, brief game just where I named 4 titles, but only 3 of them are real, and see if Ronnie can pick the fake video game name.
I'm ready.
Are you ready, Ronnie? I'm going to give like a little blurb of what it was, just so it sounds convincing that it's a video game. And one of these is fake, so by the end of the 4 games, you need to choose which one is not real. The first one is called Life is Strange Before the Storm. It's a point-and-click adventure where you are a Northwestern high school teenage girl with an attitude. The next game is Deathblade DX. It is a side-scroller, like a Ninja Gaiden-esque roguelite, where you're trying to take back your honor and save the kingdom. The next one is Reed Remastered, another side-scroller, but you're a cat, and you're helping a computer put itself back together.
I hope
And
that's
then
real.
And then the last one is The Bunker. It's a Telltale-like full-motion video point-and-click adventure where you're the last survivor in a bunker after a nuclear whatever bomb exploded somewhere. So,
I think the second one was fake.
what's the name of it?
Some DX.
Yeah, you're right.
Something.
That's the fake one. Good job.
Yay!
Yeah, the cat one is real.
The cat one is
I want to hear
totally
more
real.
about this one.
So, the first one I mentioned was Life is Strange Before the Storm. It's the prequel to Life is Strange 1, and pretty much you're an angsty, mouthy teenage girl attending a Northwestern U.S. high school. It's not a perspective I'm familiar with too much, but overall, it was a unique, enjoyable story. Got some twists and turns along the way. The graphics were a little more PS3 than PS4. The voice acting was downright awful at times, but I survived it and got a platinum and was entertained. So I gave it 6.5 out of 10 junkyards. Deathblade's Not Real. Reed Remastered. It was kind of cute at times, kind of frustrating when you died because your cat whisker touched a spike.
Did you have 9 lives?
Trap killed you? No, you had unlimited lives.
Oh.
There were disappearing platforms, and literally at the beginning of the game, a computer says, "Hey, find all my cubes to put me back together." And then you go through like 40 levels, and then at the end, he said, "Thank you," and then he like disappears, and that's the end. It was very anticlimactic.
What happened to the cat?
The cat just got stuck. Well, you're like exploring these like Aztec tombs to find these computer parts. And apparently he just stayed in there.
Okay.
I give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Also, okay.
Cat hairballs. I don't know, just hairballs. It doesn't have to be cats. It can be anything.
Okay.
And then the last one was The Bunker. And it's like, I don't know about you guys. I haven't played many full motion video games.
Yeah,
It's
I
kinda
wanted
weird,
to play this one. I haven't
but it's
played
kind
this
of
one
cool.
before.
Yeah, it's just weird because you're like, am I playing a video game? And then you just choose stuff. And it's interesting.
Yeah.
It was fun. Your mom dies right at the beginning. That's not really a spoiler because you're the only one left in the bunker. So
I thought you were dropping a mom joke for a second. Like, your mom dies. I'm like, what?
no. And then your mom dies. No. Your mom dies. You're the last one left, and you're just kind of like trying to figure out how to survive. I've never really played anything like it. It was fun. I did use a guide so that I could get the plat in 1-2 hour playthrough. But it was intriguing and thankfully not as scary as I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be borderline horror, but it was more of a thriller mystery kind of deal. So I give it 7 whittled carvings out of 10. And I almost forgot. I played some more Dead Cells this week. It was fun.
Of course.
I
There you
got
go.
all,
As
As is
tradition.
tradition.
That's right. I got all the weapons that I needed to get. I plan again to beat the hardest difficulty in a legit manner. Because, it's just my favorite game of all time.
It was a glorious day for Lucas.
Speaking of my favorite game of all time, that brings us to our topics. That's right, folks. It is randomness time. 1 to 2 of us will probably be doing a topic, maybe 3, but you never know what's going to happen in randomness. Sometimes it's 1 episode, sometimes it's 2. Someday it might even be 3 if the conversation just keeps going and going and going. So, my topic for today, my mini topic as it were, is twofold. First, I just wanted to talk about video games, the video games we love. Because I realized in our discussion last week of the GMG VG T100 that we didn't really do a lot of justice to like our top 3, 4, 5 video games. So I just wanted to really give each of us a chance to kind of count down and share what our top video games were, and maybe share a little anecdote or a story why it's our favorite, whatever you want to share. And I know some of the games that are in our top games we've shared it before, so maybe a little limerick. A little song, if you want to feel inspired, just to mix things up.
Limerick. Okay.
We're going to go in ABC order. And so we're going to start with... Oh, wait. That means it starts with
Start
me,
with
doesn't
yourself.
it? No, I've
Yes.
already been
Oops.
talking for the past 5 minutes. We're going in inverted ABC order. Therefore, we're starting with Ronnie.
So I'm looking at the sheet actually right now because I don't recall exactly what order I had them in. But there is Ark, of course, is my top 100.
Number 1.
And I think it's a combination of a lot of things. Like, I really like the building aspect of that game. And I don't know. I mean, I think I like all the other little boys running around out there, like, never got over the whole dinosaur infatuation.
Yeah, I would
it's just
say
one of
that
those things. It's like,
that makes me the most
always
jealous.
cool. Yeah,
Every time
it's
you talk
always
about your
cool.
pack of dinosaurs, I'm like, I want a pack of dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's. I mean, just that whole like combination of things. It's a really in-depth game, which I kind of like that also. So, the part that I don't love about it is that it is like just a total time killer. It's one of those games where everything takes a long time, and it's just, it ends up being your world. So that part is a little rough, but let's see what else I got on the list here.
Number 2, Grand Theft Auto
number
5.
2 is Grand Theft Auto. So Grand Theft Auto, I think I love because it's just open world, and I do think the story is good, but I spent most of my time just running around, shooting, and just creating chaos. I think that's what the game is for. It's just like a stress reliever, go and do whatever you want type thing.
Yeah, just like some days you're like, you know what? I want to get 5 stars and run away from the military and see if I can survive.
Exactly. Yeah, you start to come up with your own little challenges. And then the last one, I'll just do top 3. Is that
Yeah, that works.
good?
Yep.
Or
That's what we're shooting for.
all right. Is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I think it rose all the way up there because it is really the most recent, Star Wars game to come out. Squadrons, I guess, technically, but different style altogether. It reminded me a little bit of Knights of the Old Republic, which was just like a nostalgic game where you're your own Jedi, you get to make some decisions and stuff, but I just had a blast playing it. I thought they did really good on that one.
Yeah, it's really the closest you can feel like to just play as a Jedi. I think it does it better than any other, like even better than KOTOR. Like
I agree.
You feel like you have the flexibility to do the moves and to dodge and everything you did
Dip
about it. I
and
was
dive.
like, yep.
Well, you get
Dodge.
you get really invested, I think, in that character. Like that
Yeah.
becomes you, even though in the character it's
Right.
whatever his name was now. I
Yep.
can't remember. But no, you get really invested in the story and in the character that is you. So with like Battlefront and stuff like that, it's you're not really invested in any one particular character or anything like that. So
Yeah. Yeah, and Battlefront feels like you're like controlling action figures. Like I feel like I'm a kid again in the sandbox, and I've got like the little Yoda and the little Darth Maul, and
Yeah.
I'm like pew 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 hitting each other.
yeah, it does feel like that. Who's
Cool.
next in reverse?
Nice reverse alphabetical order.
Pat?
Tefabella. Is that
Yeah.
Is that alphabet backwards? I don't know. Anyways, Patrick.
That
go.
works. That works.
Yeah, it does.
So my number 1 is Resident Evil, and that came out when I was like 13, 14 years old, and it starts off with a full motion video, this
That's right.
crew just trying to race towards this house because there's ravenous dogs just coming after you, and after that that video, I'm like, I'm in. I love the zombie genre. I love horror, and this came out of like nowhere. I think it was revolutionary for the time because it did the tank controls, it did the still frames, and it was beautiful for the time. And I was just like, you didn't know what was around the corner. It would give me chills and anxiety, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And it's held with me. They've remade it, remastered it, rebooted it, and it's still so much fun. I love being in that house. All the other Resident Evils, they're in the city or they're in a police department. Yeah, those are okay, but the mansion is the OG, it is where I love, and I really wish they would go back and do a Resident Evil movie that is in the mansion like that, and not like this overarching story with Mila Jovovich character. Like, it just got really, really dumb. But yeah, so Resident Evil is number 1. Number 2, I believe, was Grand Theft Auto, maybe Grand Theft Auto 5. Just like Ronnie said, it's just the open sandbox. I love just being able to do, not have to do the story. Carjack, try to drive whatever car you can, try to steal whatever plane you can. I just love that open sandbox of Grand Theft Auto 5. Also
Confirmed. Yes, your second place. Sorry,
second. Okay, yeah, good.
Took me a second.
also, it was just like the 3 different characters that you could play for the first time ever in a Grand Theft Auto game. It gave like a different perspective from each of them, and they're all different. They're all different. One's a family man. One's a trailer park guy. Yeah, and the other guy is a black guy. So it's like, it was really, they were so different. And it was just really cool to play as all of them. But my 3 and 4 are Rocket League and Apex Legends. We've talked about that enough. I do want to touch on number 5, which is Celeste. And
yes, that was a surprising number 5.
Yeah, Celeste, just when I played that game, it's not a game that I normally would play. I just heard it was good and it was free on Game Pass. I'm like, sure, why not? Why not? And I didn't know anything about the story. All I knew was that you were just gonna die a lot. It was just like trial and error. And the story was just about depression and trying to climb this mountain, and you just kept getting knocked down. And I battled depression for a short time, and this hit me more than any other game has hit me, like personally wise. And that's just like, the first half of the game, I'm just playing the game and learning the story, but then there comes a point where it's just like, oh, this is the whole story, is the gameplay mechanic. And there's a point where you just like get knocked out. No, you're almost to the top of the mountain and you get knocked all the way back down. And it's just like, that was the battle. And it just hit me on a level no other game has. So yeah, that's why that creeped up to number 5 for me.
Nice.
Marcus. Well, to absolutely no one's surprise whatsoever, 2 of the games in my top 3 are Zelda games. And I have an absolute love for the Zelda series. And honestly, these games mark points in my life. Like, I can remember where I was when I was playing these games. And for Zelda games, I just love the adventure, the open world adventure, the quest aspect of it. That's not too heavy on the RPG types elements. And I just love this continued story. It's like variations on a theme of the story of, the hero Link having to fight against this evil Ganon who has appeared in multiple forms throughout history, and alongside, whether he be saving Zelda or fighting alongside Zelda, there's always these 3 pieces of the main puzzle that are always the core. For the most part, for most of the Zelda games, there are always these 3 parts, and there are certain other commonalities, certain tropes of Zelda games, and so that's why 2 of my top 3 are Zelda games. And so the first will always be Zelda Ocarina of Time. It marks a point in my life. When I was a kid, I believe it was 1998. Blockbuster still existed. I remember renting it from Blockbuster, and it was that gold cartridge.
Oh yeah.
And we had been, if you remember previous podcasts, previous episodes, we had talked about, we had like a nice little friendship with the people that worked at this Blockbuster, and they would tell us when these new games were coming out and things like that. And I had been waiting for so long for this game to come out, and I was super excited when we finally got to rent it. And I just, from the title screen on, it's just classic to me. The gameplay was incredible to me for the time. They revolutionized combat with Z targeting, which you will get to see maybe at some point this year when I play it. Possibly.
Yeah.
The remastered or the OG?
What's that?
The remastered version?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that's truly a thing. I hope it is.
I hope
Here's
it is.
hoping. But either way, it's happening.
I hope they make the remastered and let you change the fairy girl's voice. So she's like, well, hello there.
Not talking? That
Nice and
would
calm.
be
Or
great.
not talking, sure. She just waves at you.
Hey! Hello! Listen! Over here! Watch out!
Look up here. Look up here. Look up here.
That was not my favorite thing about that game. Yeah, just the different gameplay mechanics were incredible. The story, yes, I know you always have these commonalities with Zelda, and you can reduce it down to that. But like I said, variations on a theme. And the same goes with Twilight Princess. I can remember that came out during my college days, and I remember getting up super early on a, I want to say it was like a Tuesday, because that's when games were coming out specifically on Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
And rushing down to Walmart, and I was excited because I was a little bummed at first because that was right when the Wii was coming out. And I was like, oh man, I really hope this game isn't just coming out on the Wii, because I don't have that. I have the GameCube. So, but thankfully they came out with a GameCube version. And
did both.
And so I purchased it day one. Like I said, got up really early and walked, because the Walmart is pretty much adjacent to my college campus. So you were able to walk down to Walmart. And I picked my copy up. Absolutely love the story. Love the interesting take on things where you're actually turned into a wolf for a good amount of time. And eventually you can go back and forth between being Link and being this wolf, which opens up different gameplay and puzzle opportunities. Things like that. And just the design of it was awesome. Especially we had just come a few years earlier from Wind Waker, which was a radically different design from previous Zelda games. This game was like super cel shaded and cartoony, and this was coming back to, a little bit more realistic Link. And
That one's
so
probably
cartoony.
my second favorite of the Zelda of the Links.
Don't get me wrong. I love Wind Waker. I love that game.
Oh man,
But-
I forgot about. I like Wind Waker too.
Yeah.
I never beat that one though, so I have a hard time judging it fully.
Yeah, but my other in the top three was Batman Arkham City, which I remember
It's a good one.
in my post-grad days. I remember playing that for hours and hours, just going through all the details and all how much they paid attention to the lore of Batman and his mythos and all that kind of stuff, and just the open world exploration, just building off of Arkham Asylum. Absolutely loved that game and loved the story to it. Just a lot of fun. So those were my top threes.
Good stuff. My top three were not a huge surprise, as I think at least two of them I've talked about a number of times. My number one was Final Fantasy VII Remake. I also include the original in that as well. That was really my first dive into a Japanese RPG, a JRPG. I fell in love with the gameplay. At the time when I first played that, like the cinematics mixed with the story, mixed with the turn-based system, I was okay with. But once you got to the remake and they melded the turn-based with the action battle system, like just the way that all worked was amazing. And I fell in love with it all over again. But the first one, I remember playing that my freshman year in high school. I played through it twice, probably put in over 120, 130 hours. I remember my longest playthrough was like 75, 80 hours, and I did everything. I think at some point I found the guide to the game and made sure I got every single materia, every single type of chocobo that you could get, so you could pretty much like travel all over the world without any issues. And then in the new one, the way they just added twists and turns and reimagined the story, like the voice acting on the new one is exactly how my freshman, 16-year-old mind imagined what Barrett sounded like and what Cloud sounded like and Tifa.
Yeah.
Everybody, it was like, this is exactly how I thought they'd sound. And it was perfect. Like, so good. And I'm so pumped to see what comes next. So pumped that Patrick has liked it and will likely be playing through them with me. So
yeah, 100%.
So good, so fun. The second one, of course, Dead Cells. It really sealed the deal for my love for roguelike and Metroidvanias. One of the few games I have both platinums for, and I'm just plain good at it. It's a really hard game, so it's like my Dark Souls, my Bloodborne, whatever, my Get Good game. And so I really enjoy it. The third one I had was God of War 2018. It's probably the most violent, inappropriate video game series that I've ever liked. It's so violent and so inappropriate at times. I played the trilogy back. I didn't play it when it originally came out. I somehow got my hands on a PS2, and then someone told me about God of War, where this guy fights Greek gods or Roman gods or whatever, Greek gods. And I was like, what? And so I started playing it, and I was like, this is really not my cup of tea, but it is, because I love mythology. I love, all the Hercules and Zeus and just all those stories, and melding that with a guy who's just trying to figure out who he is and trying to kind of get revenge and stuff was really intriguing. Playing that trilogy was cool, but then playing this, what was said to be a reboot but really isn't, was just mind-blowing, because it took that storyline, continued it, and it added a parenting factor to it. It and set up a brand new trilogy. I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be a trilogy, but at least setting up a new saga, with a new set of gods, a new mythological world in the Nordic with the Nordic gods, and just so good. So that game's so good, and just everything about it. It's good stuff. So yeah, those are my top three, and so glad we could share a little bit about that. I also wanted to add the second half to our love of video games. This past week, we received our PlayStation wrap-up infographics, and I know Ronnie can't really contribute much to this, so he gets to be our interviewer, our questioner. So he's just going to ask Mark, Patrick, and I to share our stats so we can compare notes and see where a lot of our time was put into this past year in 2020. So, Ronnie,
all right, let's
away.
See what you gentlemen have been up to. First question: how many PlayStation games did you play in 2020?
So are you guessing who had the most games played?
I'm asking the questions, sir.
Yeah, I have the questions here, sir.
Touche.
No, I'm not gonna guess.
Can't make him.
Well, since I spoke first, I will go first, and I did 86 games.
Woo!
86 games.
I think you win.
Yeah, he was clear winner here.
Yeah.
I played 28 games.
And I'm right in the middle. I played 57.
All right. I feel like you just play like all these random games. I think
don't worry.
Your number's going to be higher this year.
Yeah, I'm going to destroy you this year. Don't worry.
He's already played 300 games.
That's a promise.
This month.
Yep.
He's already paid.
I'm just going to start games. I'm going to get PlayStation Now for 1 month and just play like 5 minutes.
Start up every game for 10 minutes.
All right, next question. How many hours and days did you play?
Oh, is that on here?
It is. Can you find it?
Oh my gosh,
Mark,
my
go ahead.
total. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead, Mark. You go first.
Total hours of gameplay in 2020 was 3,320.
How many days is that?
What?
3,000?
Yep.
320.
3,320.
Wow.
Holy!
You destroyed
moly.
me. I was 1,678.
I thought I had 2,772.
And that is 213 days.
How many days did you have, Patrick?
I had 2,772 hours.
How many days?
You figure that out.
2,770.
I didn't know math was going to be
It doesn't-
involved.
Just
no,
in
you don't-
2020, or is this a recent an
No.
update every year?
This is 2020.
It tells you just in 2020 how many of the 360, actually we had 366 days in 2020. How many of those did you play? I played 328 of the 366 days. So, Patrick, I don't have any idea what to tell you.
It's 2,772.
No, but it's not divided
2,772.
by the number. It's
What?
the number of days is like how many days of
you
like
played
the
for
calendar
30
days.
minutes.
Oh,
Sunday
it
that's
gives
one.
it's 282. I didn't know
okay.
it gave it
There
to
you
us.
go.
I had to scroll down a little farther.
It's all good.
There you go.
Yep. There you go.
All right, and this is clearly Lucas's list. How many platinums and total trophies did you get?
Ooh.
And Lucas, you go first.
Actually, I don't know that I'll win the platinum one, but I got 5 platinums and got 958 total trophies, almost 1,000.
Ooh, nice.
How about you,
I
Patrick?
got 865 platinums.
No,
Yeah.
you didn't. You liar.
Nice.
No, I played 865 games and I got 12 platinums.
You mean you got 865 trophies?
What did I say?
You said games.
Played 865 games.
3 games a day.
That's 2021.
2 to 3
Sorry.
games
Whoops.
a day. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Future. Spoilers.
How about you, Mark?
All right. So you guys have left me in the dust. I earned a total of 223 trophies. I had 1 platinum, my very first platinum.
Miles
Morales.
being Miles Morales. 7 gold, 29 silver, and 186 bronze.
All right. All right.
All right.
Nice breakdown.
How many gold did you have, Lucas?
I don't know.
I had 96 gold.
96.
Almost 100 gold. That really puts your level up when you get those golds and platinums.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
I can look real quick. I have it on
Okay.
my speed dial. That's not how that works.
But yeah, 620 bronze.
I only had
Those are
49
just-
gold.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
It's going to be different this year.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Ronnie, next question. The floor is yours.
What was your most played time and day?
Mine was Saturday mornings.
Mine says Friday afternoon, which makes
Oh,
no
all
sense.
right. Friday afternoon, huh?
It's more like Friday night. 'Cause
No work Friday.
Maybe if I have my PlayStation on and I'm watching the No Work Friday, does that count?
Does that, like,
'Cause
when
that's
your
the
son
only-
would play the PlayStation 4, did that count it? He
That's
played under
the one
his
I would-
name, though, didn't he?
No, but he wouldn't normally play the PlayStation. He would normally play the Xbox
Oh, yeah, that's true.
or his Switch.
Yeah. Good call.
Yeah, I don't. That's
Huh?
weird.
PlayStation has spoken.
Yep,
All
they
right.
said Friday afternoons. No,
Mine is afternoons on Monday.
Oh, okay. Those are some random.
I don't believe that
times.
for a second either.
Yeah, I don't really believe that. But
Can't argue with
There it
the
is.
Sony.
All right. Mark with
Okay.
the afternoon delight.
Yep.
And now the next question.
Even more now with the purple
skyrockets in
bed.
flight.
Hey,
Yo.
What were your top 3 played games and hours of said games?
oh my gosh.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Of God.
Here. Actually, I think I
All
need
right.
to get mine out of the way because you guys
Let's
are going to
do
destroy me.
do 3, 2, 1. Don't start with your top one.
All right.
All right, everybody go around for their third.
Third with the hours.
They're turd.
Anybody, you guys can all go at one time if you want.
Yeah, let's all say it at once. Mine was Marvel's Avengers at 150 hours.
Nice.
Mine was Last of Us 2 at 106.
My number 3 was Ghost of Tsushima at 34 hours.
All right.
All right. Okay.
Now for number 2.
Who does number 2 work for?
Who does number
show
2
that turd
work for?
We'll get through this together.
My number 2 was Minecraft. Thanks, kids. 175 hours.
Just messing with your numbers.
They are. They're jacking those numbers right up.
My number 2 game was Marvel's Avengers with 207 hours.
Ooh.
7.
Yeah, I'm still way
Love
lower
that.
with you guys.
So good.
Horizon Zero Dawn
Yeah.
at 36 hours.
Represent.
Didn't you have
There
the
you go.
most hours played though, Mark? So this next one you're gonna like bury everybody.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Seems
We'll
like this would
see.
have to be higher.
I
would
think. Well, yeah, number 1 will definitely be higher, but I think Pat will have me beat.
Okay.
My number 1 is Dead Cells at 198 hours. Too shy of 200.
Rookie
I
numbers.
Rookie
know,
numbers.
I
Rookie
know.
numbers.
Yeah, yeah.
Pat and Mark,
Let's hear it.
how much
Let's
did
hear
you
it,
guys play
Apex
Apex?
boys.
Mark, you go first.
I played Apex at 448 hours.
Rookie numbers again.
Told you.
Okay, you guys call yourself gamers? Get out of here.
Bring it.
I played Apex for 706 hours in 2020.
You were encroaching
But-
double Mark's numbers.
But, which is weird. So, one of the stats, I don't know if you're going to go onto the stat, but going online versus playing locally.
Yeah,
That's my question.
Yeah.
It says I only played online for 142 hours
no,
when
I didn't
every
touch it. Because it doesn't make
Yeah, it
sense.
made any sense because I was playing Apex, which is only online multiplayer.
Yeah.
And at 706 hours, but I only played online for 142.
No idea.
So that doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
It doesn't.
So mine says hours played locally, 3,302. Hours played online, 18.
Yeah,
That's not right at all. Yeah, someone's got their wires crossed.
And you
So-
said 776. I need to get on my Xbox and figure out how many hours I've played Ark.
Yeah, does Xbox
don't know.
give like a wrap up or update or year in review?
You know what? I don't know.
about
I
that.
think if you go into the game,
yeah.
you
Like
can actually
each game?
find it. I think it tracks it. I think the Xbox.
think
That's
they
too much
mail it
work.
too.
Ronnie is not going to do that. Go into each game. Oh, let me see what Ark says. Let me.
Oh,
okay, I'm
yeah.
done.
all he would need to do is probably just go into Arc.
Yeah, yeah. I'd be interested to see your numbers with Ark, Ronnie.
It would be.
That would be fun.
I feel like the 776 hours. Like, I think it would at least rival that probably.
Yeah.
You guys would realize that I have no life. I mean, none. If we get that number out in the open.
Thanks for your honesty.
Yeah. No, that
right.
was all the questions. So.
Yep, that was, and that concludes this day in video game celebration history. I just made that up. Speaking of the real voice of music, Mark, what's your topic?
Okay, so obviously I was a little inspired by this topic, given that I went into Rocket League this past week, kicking and screaming. I very much did not want to play,
That is correct.
but the thought of the four of us playing and playing on stream certainly helped with that decision, and I'm glad that they roped me in because we had a great time with it.
We did.
And I had a great experience with Gridiron on Rocket League. And so it made me think of this question. So basically, think of a time in your life where you were pulled into something you were dreading doing, but found yourself pleasantly surprised. And since I technically, that's the example with Rocket League was kind of my jumping point for this, I'm actually going to give a different example. So I remember when I was in high school, I was absolutely afraid of getting on roller coasters. Oh yeah. I did not want to do it. I didn't like how fast they went and all the loop-de-loops. Like, I was horrible about. I just did not want to do. I was not about that at all. And finally, due to some nice peer pressure, my friends pressured me because I wanted to be in with my friends, in with the crowd. I want to hang. I want to be able to hang with you guys. And so I remember we were at Six Flags New England, and my first roller coaster that I ever went on was called the Mind Eraser. And this was one of those
They all sound horrible.
yeah. And this was one where it's one of those ones where your feet are hanging, that kind of thing.
I love those. What a great first roller coaster.
Yeah, you're not in a car, but man, I had so much fun going on it because I totally thought I was gonna hate it, and yet it was super exciting. Now, later on, I developed a hatred of roller coasters because some of them make me feel sick. So I have to be real careful with that. But I was pleasantly surprised by my first experience on a roller coaster. So
Nice. Well,
I open the floor to you, gentlemen.
I need to jump right in there and say I too was dragged into riding roller coasters back when I was a little kid, probably until I want to say like 8 or 9 years old. I was afraid of I don't know that I wasn't specifically afraid of roller coasters, but I was afraid of heights. Like I did not like heights of any kind. I remember freaking out with anything that made me go like I remember taking swim classes and having to go off the high dive, which was really just I called it the high dive, but it was like the 6-foot diving board or the 5-foot diving board. Later on in life, I'd jump off the like 12 or 15-foot diving board, and it wasn't a big deal. But I was scared big time, and roller coasters definitely was an expression of that fear. But then I remember going to an amusement park called Kennywood in Pittsburgh.
Oh my gosh, in Pittsburgh?
PA. Yeah. And I rode, I think it's the Phantom. I think at one time it was like one of the fastest, like 0 to 60 roller coasters.
Sounds like the kind of theme park where people die regularly. Kennywood is the name of it?
You're probably right.
Hey, y'all going down to Kennywood?
Hey, let's go to Kennywood. Then later on in life, little would I know, I'd go to also Dollywood, and that's where people really go to die. Of boredom.
So it was like
and
Kennywood
old age.
after like Kenny Rogers or something like
I
that?
think so. I don't really know.
I don't know.
That would make it worse. But I remember riding the Phantom and just falling in love with roller coasters from there. And I think like for me, the pinnacle of roller coaster riding was the first time I went to Cedar Point, and I rode like the Raptor and a bunch of different roller coasters that they have there. But I just fell in love with roller coasters from there, and then ever since I've never looked back. I love roller coasters. I haven't ridden a lot of them the past few years being in Brazil, but I know that when we went to Kings Island together, that was a blast, not just to see you guys, but to ride roller coasters and to do that with my kids too. So it was really cool. But that's definitely one that I didn't like at the beginning. So
just so everybody knows, Kennywood, nothing to do with Kenny Rogers.
all right, fair enough.
Lies. Fake news.
Yeah.
It is.
It's been around since the 19th century. Pre
Yep.
Kenny
Been around.
Rogers.
Kenny Rogers has been around that long?
Yep,
Dang.
he was an old guy, or was I don't know, not sure.
He's time.
to come.
Yeah, he's forever.
Yeah,
He found the fountain of youth.
he did. Cool.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. I'm pretty open to doing a lot of things. So, I don't really dread things. The only thing that I can really come up with was back, I guess when I was in college, the Da Vinci Code movie was coming out.
Me
And-
too. You go ahead.
and-
I'm just saying. You're speaking my language. Go ahead. Sorry.
And there was a lot of history behind the reasonings behind this movie, and it got a lot of media attention because of the subject matter.
Yeah.
And I just heard like the book was so good, and I don't read. I don't like to read. Like you have 3 lines on your Twitter message, like I'm not reading it. Like
Too
that's
many.
like like
TLDR.
I too long didn't read. I read those. Like you do that. I love it. Like you make me click a link. It's like 50% of the time I'm not clicking that link because I don't really feel like it. And so I wasn't going to read the Da Vinci Code, but we were going on vacation. We were going to Florida, and I was going with my wife or my girlfriend at the time, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go buy the Da Vinci Code. I'm gonna sit on the beach and I'm gonna read it. And I couldn't put this book down. Like, it was so interesting. It was like National Treasure, the movie. You know, like you would go clue after clue, just trying to figure out the whole end game, the whole goal of what all this means. And it was really, really neat. And it really got me into well, I wouldn't say get into, but it opened the doors for me to read other books that are interesting. So I read some other of the Da Vinci Code books. I think the sequel was Angels and Demons, and then I read The Code, which was garbage. Don't ever read it. It's the whole point of that book was just nothing. The whole point there. I'm gonna spoil this right now, so you don't have to read it or watch it.
And
That
doesn't do that.
No, and it's
is a
funny
public
because
service.
there were 3 Da Vinci Code movies that came out, and
Yeah.
they skipped The Code because it was such a bad book. It led up to this whole secret, and Robert Langdon, the character, gets to the end, finds the secret, opens up the book or whatever it was, and there was nothing in it, and the book ends. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. There was no satisfaction to this book. I threw the book down. I was like, this is ridiculous. I
Slammed it.
Dang.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, going back to that, I was pleasantly surprised by the Da Vinci Code book because it was really, really well written.
Nice.
I liked it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, man. I'm 100% with you. I have to chime in on this one too because I also wrote this down, the Da Vinci Code, because
No way.
yeah, like there was so much like anti-Christian, like talked about Jesus having kids and all this stuff, and it was just like all this stuff that people acted like the author Dan Brown was saying this is true. Yet when you open to the first page, this is a work of fiction.
Yeah,
the
it's
word
fiction.
that it said, and so it totally like I put it off for so long, and then I too was traveling with my wife, and I too was like, I need to buy a book while I'm traveling, on an airplane and all that jazz. And so I bought it, and then I read it, and I could not stop reading it. And then I gave it to Mindy, and I was like, you need to read this. And from there, we read that. We read Angels and Demons. We read a number of them, which Angels and Demons remains, I think, my favorite. I really enjoyed that
About
one.
the Illuminati. It was a cool book.
Yeah, and that's it.
Movie
that's
not so much, but the book was good.
No, the movie was definitely not to the same caliber as the book, but it was good. Another book that I want to just throw in there, actually 2 more books. The next one was the Harry Potter series. I think I was in high school at some point when that came out. The first book came out was that like 97, 96?
You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah, well, I'm just throwing it out there, hoping the Mark facts will show up. But
Yeah,
anyways,
he's not there.
I do remember I was in high school, and I do remember our librarian recommended us to read the Harry Potter books. And I do remember saying to myself, I'm not going to read those because there was a rumor going around that our librarian was a witch. And we thought maybe she was trying to like, convert us or get us to start doing crazy
I don't know if we have enough
witch and
time, but
wizardry stuff.
I need to hear about this backstory. Like, why did everyone think she was a witch?
Because I'm pretty sure she was a Wiccan. Like, she had little necklaces, and like and I don't know if she would tell us stories to like freak us out, but she would talk about how like she believed in magic and wizardry and witch stuff, and we were kind of freaked out by it. So when she's like, hey, you need to read this book about wizards and witches, we're like, I don't think I want to. You're gonna like hex me, or I don't know, do something creepy to me. But then in college, I remember when the movies came out, people making a big stink about it because they were like, oh no, magic's evil and of the devil. And then I started reading the books, and I was like, these books are amazing. Like, by the end of the final book in the series, the author, whether she meant to or not, pretty much tells the story of Christ's sacrifice and love, and like through the story of Harry Potter, and it's amazing. And I just turned a 180 in it, and I will tell Christians and people of all shapes and sizes and colors to read these books because the message in it is so beautiful and so good. So that was another one that I did a big turnaround on. The third book that I want to just throw out there for all you romantic readers out there, or you have a significant other that loves romance novels. My wife recommended a book to me called Redeeming Love, and it's based off of the book of Hosea from the Bible. For those
I've heard of that.
For some that don't know the book of Hosea, it's pretty much about a prophet who is told by God to marry a prostitute, and she proceeds to cheat on him multiple times, and God says you need to remain faithful and keep going back to her. And the book is like a Pioneer Days retelling of it, and Mindy told me to read it for like kind of for us, or for, you know, that it was really good story and stuff, and I was very skeptical. And I started reading it, and then 13 hours later, I closed the book because I had read it all in one sitting. Like, I took breaks to eat and do number 2, and that was it.
Do number 2.
That's it. And the book was amazing, and it still remains one of my favorite love stories. Not even love stories, but deeper than that, like true love stories. They're going to be actually coming out with a movie about it. But I recommend it to any and all people. I recommend it to couples to read it together, because there's just a lot of good stuff in it, and that I don't really want to give away, and that doesn't really make sense without reading through the story itself. But it's really good. So just throw out some books there that I hated on and then loved at the end.
Nice.
Okay, Ronnie, your turn. Tell us about a book that you hated and then you fell in love with it, and now you read it.
Yeah, you guys are never going to believe this. It's the Da Vinci Code.
Is it really?
No.
Aw.
It is 100%.
So close. You
still,
almost had me.
I will listen to an audiobook, but like reading, if I sit down and read, it will like put me to sleep. It's not for me.
It's all good.
I had a hard time actually thinking about this, because I kind of lived by a philosophy for a while that, you know, if I don't like it, I'm just not going to do it. So like, and I just kind of went along that. I remember when I was a little kid, like I would consider myself still afraid of heights. I remember when I was a little kid, I was at a beach water park, and they had this like high jump, like just a high jump, like platform into a pool. And I don't even know how high it was, but as like a younger kid, probably like 10 to 12, somewhere in there, like I was terrified of this.
It was like a skyscraper.
Yeah, so I got talked into going up there. And really the only reason I jumped even now was because there was a big line of people behind me. And I was like, well, I can't, you know, like chicken out in front of all these people. So I remember jumping off of this thing, and like my like heart was like in my throat as soon as I like jumped, you know. And I landed and I came back up, and I was like, wow, that was incredible though.
Yeah.
Like the rush of adrenaline from jumping. Yeah. And actually, like, I didn't love roller coasters when I was a little kid, but as an adult, I can appreciate them a little more. However, certain ones I will throw up as soon as I get off. Like, there are certain roller coasters, if they are, I don't love upside down roller coasters at all. Like, those bother me. And the ones that just do those like corkscrews and like the real crazy ones, like, I'm not about that. Like, you guys were at Kings Island, like the racer, that's my idea of a good roller coaster. Just a standard one with a big drop. Nobody's upside down. Like,
yeah.
So I like old school roller coasters, I guess.
Well, then you're going to be happy. I don't know when's the next time you're going to be going to Kings Island, but they're redoing the racer and going to make it smoother. And
That's cool.
Yeah,
Butter it
The next
up.
time I go to Kings Island is either the next time I get suckered into going there by you guys, or that there are kids down the road that want to go to Kings Island, because it's not really my thing.
Fair enough.
That arcade was pretty sweet there, though.
Mm-hmm.
I would go
Yeah.
back for that
It's
arcade.
reason enough to go
arcades are good.
Yeah,
Beat another game there.
exactly
We should make
right.
it a goal to beat
I
all
probably
the
still
games.
have coins there.
You probably do. Let's make it a goal. We'll beat all the games at that arcade.
Here we go.
Just get there first thing in the morning.
Yep, just go all day.
Well, that's it.
That's it?
That's it for my topic.
All right. Thanks for that question. That was good stuff. All right. Well, that's all we have time for, as is tradition. We will save Ronnie and Patrick for next week. that is all for half of our randomly generated discussion. To wrap things up, we are going to just take a moment to do some last-minute housekeeping where we offer towels, fluff pillows, topped with Andy's candies, and tip you off to the GMG news you need to know. Please check out our first GMG VGBC spoiler cast and discussion of Spider-Man Miles Morales with Ryan Straube. We will be doing a live discussion and spoiler cast tomorrow, but that's actually probably a yesterday for you who are listening to this podcast, or the day before that. So check it out. It's archived. It'll actually come out in podcast form, so you can listen to it there. And then beyond that, every Saturday, Mark is, of course, continuing to play through Brought to You by the Letter C.
Yeah.
That's not the name. I actually forget the name. What's the name?
It's Call of the Sea.
Call of the Sea. Thank you. C's giving you a call. Ring, ring. Here it comes. On Twitch with GMG. Got him. And I'm going to be trying to stream more. I did stream a little bit last week, and I'll be streaming again this week during lunch times, random weekdays, on our GMG YouTube channel. Please subscribe because we want to reach 100 subscribers and have an easier link that we can share with others. That's not just a bunch of numbers and letters smashed together. Also, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, and, of course, Stitcher, if you have not done so already. If you use Discord, Twitter, Twitch, or email, you can check out those links in the show notes and connect with us. And you can always call us at 929-GMG-GUYS. You can ask a question, share a comment, let your voice be heard. And, of course, and as always, what should always be heard but none other than Marc Boucher.
On this day in music history.
Yeah, of course. On this day in music history, that day being February the 8th, which is the day of our recording here, in 1964, you guys heard the song Louie Louie from
Louie Louie.
That's it.
Oh,
So apparently Louie
go.
Louie was under investigation. The band was under investigation by the FBI for containing obscene lyrics in the song Louie Louie. And that's a testament to the times they were in.
Wow, they
Right.
really didn't have much to do. Hey, the song has dirty words. We better investigate it. Put our time and money and effort into figuring this out.
And so the song's publishers offered $1,000 to anyone who could definitively distinguish whatever these dirty words are. Now, truth be told, there are no dirty words in this song.
What if you play
So-
it backwards? Does it?
Yeah, maybe.
Backwards, upside down, and fast forward.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bad words all day.
Halftime speed.
To the movie Dark Side of the Moon.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Or no, Wizard of Oz. The
Wizard
Dark
of
Side
Oz,
of the Moon. Yeah.
In 1992, Right Said Fred started a 3-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles chart with I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt, Too Sexy for My Shirt, So Sexy It Hurts. And in 1994, the band Oasis, are you guys familiar with Oasis?
Today's gonna be the day, but they never throw it back
Yes,
to
yes,
you.
those guys.
Yep.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall. They were forced to cancel their first foreign tour
Boo.
after they were deported from Holland.
For bad words in their music.
Yep. Played it backwards.
No, much worse. They were involved in a drunken brawl on a cross-channel ferry, which resulted in members of the band being arrested and locked in the brig on the ferry.
Sounds like a party.
And that's why they wrote the song Don't Look Back in Anger.
Yeah.
They learned their lesson later.
Yeah. So Sally can wait for us to
She
get
knows
out of
it's
the
too
brig.
late. Yep. As we're walking on by.
Mm-hmm. Good on
Oh,
you for knowing the
there
lyrics.
goes her soul. It's flying away.
Don't look back in anger, I had to say. But yeah, and happy birthday to Vince Neil. Or, yeah, is it Vince Neil? Yeah, Vince Neil.
Vaughn.
Vince Diesel.
Not Vince Vaughn. No, Vince Neil, yeah. Vince Neil of Motley Crue.
All right.
And that is it.
Sweet. Fantastic. Thank you, Marcus. Finally, to finish things up, we are beginning to collect our top 100 movies for our GMG MAFT 100 list. We have 2 movies to share today since we mentioned the list last week, but I definitely did not ask anyone to share their first favorite movie. So this week, please share with the joiners 2 of your favorite movies of all time, starting with Ronnie.
The first one I'm going to go with is Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Nice.
And also American Gangster.
There you go.
All right,
Gangster
all right,
movies.
all right. Representing the gangsters in our lives, those special. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Patrick?
I'm gonna go along the same train here. I'm gonna go with Scarface
All right.
and Fight Club.
I'm going to not go on that train.
You're breaking up the band? What are you going to do that for?
It's gonna be like, Bambi and Homeward Bound.
There is
Wally.
death in that one. There is death in Bambi. So
Yes, that's true. It's true.
Spoilers.
So I'm gonna shoot high with these first 2, for me at least. The '89 Batman
Okay.
and Back to the Future.
all right. Very good. I'm also going to shoot high, like Marcus. And I'm going to go for Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. And The Matrix.
You took one of mine, Dad.
Ha ha ha.
What's great about this list is, so I'm like racking my brain, like I got to do my top 25.
How?
And I'm like, I started listing all the movies that I love and I would watch again and over again. And I was like, I'm up to like 52. So I'm like, well, I got to figure out what I want to do with these. And all of these, but one, are on my list of 52.
Nice.
So this is good list so
that
far.
works out.
Yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. All right. I will say one thing I was thinking about is that we have we're going to be listing these games for games. No,
Movies.
We're going to be listing these movies. Thank you very much for the next 4 months, 5 months. So let's try to maybe watch each other's movies if we haven't seen them. I've seen most of the movies that have been mentioned, but I know there's a couple that I have not. So I will be trying to do my
So we have
homework.
a better average.
Yeah,
no one has
so we don't get
zeros
too many
and
zeros.
ruined it. Yeah.
Obviously, if it's against your religion or you get partway through and don't like it, then that's fine. But if we all make a good college try to watch each other's movies, that'd be good.
Yeah.
I think. That's all.
If you guys come up with a movie that I have not seen, which I doubt that's going to happen, because I've seen a lot of movies, but if there is one, I'm going to definitely watch it.
Sweet.
I'll jump on that train.
All right.
This is how we get Lucas to watch Ready to Rumble.
That's the only way.
That's
it's gonna
on your
happen.
list. Then
That's the only
yes,
thing that's gonna happen. That's the only way it's gonna happen, man. Alrighty then, Pat, Mark, Ronnie J, along with you, our beloved friends, family, and joiners. Go get your good morning this week, and may God bless and guide your lives as you live, as you work, and as you game.
1, 2, 3, 4.